Hi, I'm Dr. Mark. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about flossing. So let's categorize floss into 5 different types. There are the general dental floss, the water floss, interdental brushes, super floss, and the toothpick. So let's talk about the most common one, which is the dental floss. So the dental floss is basically a soft thread of silk or similar string type material used to clean between your teeth. Most dental floss are pretty similar, but I would generally choose the one that feels softer and a bit more resistant to breakage. The string floss is the most common one that we normally see. What it does is that we do have to wrap the string floss around our index fingers and then gently insert between your teeth. Just remember that in between our teeth, the gaps is actually more like a triangular shape. So if it's a triangular shape, when you push the string floss in between your teeth, you cannot just push it in and out directly. You do have to insert the string floss, go towards one side slightly, and then go to the other side, and then come out. This way, you'll get all the plaque in between your teeth. So personally, I like to use the Oral-B Glide, or the other one called the Satan tape, because these ones are very easy to use and they don't flare easily. And they're actually quite gentle and soft on your gum. Because it is so gentle and soft, it prevents me from pressing too hard and cause my gum to bleed. How do we floss with the normal dental floss? So basically we ask you to push the floss gently between your teeth first. Glide it a little bit and then go towards the other side around the gum line. So while flossing gently, if you do notice any bleeding around the gums, it means that your gum is inflamed and unhealthy. Then it is important to visit your dentist for examination and clean. So the second type of floss is what we call the water floss. So it is a device that uses pressure to spray a stream of water for cleaning between and around your teeth. Pretty much the difference between the water floss is mainly based on the volume of water it can hold. So for example, a larger device can maybe used for multiple times before needing to be refilled. And for a smaller device, require you to refill after every use. The different water floss device really do the same thing. So another question I get asked is whether can water floss replace the string floss? I would say the answer is no, not completely. So we usually advise our patient to use the string floss first and then the water floss afterwards to achieve the maximum cleanliness. The string floss is like a mechanical movement, so it mechanically dislodges the bacteria and the plaque, and then after that, the water floss will allow it to wash away the bacteria more effectively. So how do you actually use the water floss? In a way, it's actually pretty simple. All you have to do is aim the nozzle of the water floss in between around the gum line area of each of your teeth. The third type of brush is what we call the interdental brush. An interdental brush is basically like a tiny toothbrush. So it is designed for cleaning between your teeth, and they can be very handy for cleaning around your braces during orthodontics. You might also be wondering whether an interdental brush can replace string floss, especially if you find those traditional string floss to be very difficult to use. Like a lot of patients mention that near the back, their fingers cannot fit in the mouth. It's just very difficult. So in this situation, the interdental floss can definitely replace the string floss. So there are many different brands of interdental brushes on the market, but the main difference between the interdental brushes is basically the size of the brush head. So the size you choose is determined mainly by the gaps between your teeth. The larger the gap, the larger the brush size you need. So how you know is that the brush should fit comfortably into the gap between your teeth. Inserting it should only require slight pressure. If it feels like you're forcing it too hard, basically stop and try a smaller size. I have to say sometimes it is a little bit of a trial and error, or simply you can ask your dentist for advice on the best interdental brush size for you. So I will go through the steps on how to use an interdental brush. So firstly, make sure you're using the correct size of the brush for each gap. Gently press the brush into the space between your teeth and along the gum, twisting the brush slightly as you insert it. Brush backwards and forwards several times, and then carefully remove the brush and move onto the rest of the gaps. So you do have to change the interdental brush size as you move around your mouth to ensure that you're using the right size. If your brush wire breaks or some bristle come loose, then discard it and grab a new one. The fourth type of floss is what we call the super floss. So the main purpose of this floss is generally used for cleaning around and underneath your dental bridge. So what a dental bridge is when you're missing a tooth and you use what we call dental bridge to use either side of the tooth beside the gap as a support to create a ceramic bridge material so that you can replace that missing tooth in the middle. So because of that, you're unable to floss right underneath the bridge properly. So this is where the super floss come in. With the super floss, you actually insert the super floss directly underneath the bridge, and then you grab the string from the other side, and then you can pull it out from underneath your bridge. This way you can clean the gum and underneath around the bridge more effectively. So basically, an interdental brush in most cases can work as well. You can also use interdental brush underneath a bridge. However, sometimes a bridge can be very tight underneath, and interdental brushes may not actually fit and it becomes painful to use. Another use of super floss is that you can also use it around your braces as well. However, for myself, I find that the interdental brushes is much easier to use and works much better. The final type is basically what I don't recommend, which is just the normal toothpick, especially the one you see at the restaurants where it's made of bamboo. So a toothpick is basically a thin stick made of either wood, plastic or bamboo type of material, pointy on one end. Problem is that the toothpick cannot fit between the gaps of your teeth effectively. Since we mentioned before that the gap between your teeth is actually a bit of a triangular shape. However, the toothpick is actually quite rigid. It's actually a circular shape. So you cannot actually clean between and around your teeth properly. And you will be unable to disrupt the buildup between your teeth. So I would say this is the least effective method of flossing. So I have gone through all the methods of flossing. Personally, we will recommend people to use the string floss or the interdental brush after each meal, and then use the water floss after that. And then finally, brush thoroughly with your toothbrush for that amazing clean feel. I hope you find this video helpful, and we will see you next time.